What is going on, guys? Papa C back to the video for you guys, bringing you my week 1 NPA team builder. This week your New York Klinks taking on Sin, coach of the Cedar Rapids Thundurus. His links of course will be in the description. So going into this matchup, week 1, definitely want to start off on a high note. I have a very bad track record with week 1s. Out of all of the YouTube leagues that I've been in that haven't died halfway in, which is kind of specific I guess, but there's like still 6 or 7 leagues that I'm talking about, probably more than that actually. I've only won week 1 one time. That was PGL season 2, which was over 2 years ago at this point, which is crazy. So week 1, we don't have a very good track record. I definitely want to change that. I want to start off with the win, especially after the disappointing season we had last season in the NPA. So going over the matchup real quick, my team's on the left, my opponent's on the right. I got Fini, Goodra, Fortress, Miltank, Raichu, Trevenant, Mega Absol, Tornadus, Therian, Swampert, Delphox, and Toxicroak. My opponent has Toxicroak, Ferrothorn, Galvantula, Sneasel, Regirock, Golurk, Mega Charizard X, Gardevoir, Staraptor, Hitmontop, and Jumpluff. So things that stick out right off the bat for his team. Mega Charizard X is definitely the biggest threat. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that his kill leader will be Mega Charizard X throughout the entire season. It's a very potent physical threat, and it's something I have to be aware of. Now, he could run Dragon Dance and Roost, and I'll get more to that in the actual team builder, which is the set that I'm scared of the most. If he doesn't run Dragon Dance, I don't think it's that scary because he can't Will-O-Wisp me too much because I am bringing Tapu Fini, which will prevent my grounded Pokemon from being Will-O-Wisp. And if he's Dragon Dance, I do have some answers to it. However, Dragon Dance is definitely the scariest. Another Pokemon that I'm looking out for a lot is Galvantula. Galvantula plus Charizard is actually a pretty good combination because that makes it so that way Zard isn't as reliant on Dragon Dance because for the speed that is, because you don't have to rely on the speed boost because you have your opponent's decreasing speed from the sticky webs. That makes sense. So those two Pokemon are the things I'm looking out for the most. And then on top of that, like Toxapex is annoying. Sneasel can come and get a few cheeky kills with Ice Shard. It can bring Low Kick as well because Low Kick could be annoying for my team. If you look at my team, there's some Pokemon that look really good in this matchup that really aren't that great. Like one Pokemon that my front office was saying I should use a lot was Mega Absol. Mega Absol is a fantastic Pokemon. The problem is Sucker Punch doesn't really kill a lot of things, and pretty much anything on his team can one-shot my Mega Absol, and if I lead Mega Absol trying to prevent him from getting Sticky Webs up with his Galvantula, it is a bug type so it can just kill me. So I'm not bringing Mega Absol for that one reason. I was really debating it because it does look really good on paper, but the more you break it down, the more you look at the calcs, it really doesn't seem that great. Another Pokemon that seems pretty good in this matchup is Miltank because Mega Charizard X does have Mega Charizard X is a fire type, of course, and I do have the terrain coming out from Tapu Fini, which weakens the power of Dragon Moves, which is the reason why I didn't want to bring Goodra in this matchup because I want to answer his Zard as much as possible, and I don't want to weaken my Goodra's Dragon Moves because Goodra can handle Charizard in the sense that it's a Dragon type and hit super effective, but when I have the terrain up, that's not the case, and I want the terrain up to weaken the Charizard. So Miltank, in a similar fashion, has Thick Fat, which will help for the fire moves on the Charizard X. However, the problem with Miltank is, like I said earlier, if he runs Dragon Dance and Roost, there's really nothing Miltank can do. I can't really Toxic it or Thunder Wave it too reliably because I am bringing Tapu Fini. And I know it might seem like Tapu Fini is bringing a lot of problems to the team, but I feel like it will put in a lot of work. In a mock battle that I did, Tapu Fini just went for Calm Mind and swept, which was kind of crazy. So going into the team real quick, the first Pokemon that stood out for me that would be that's the damage calcs, that's the wrong thing. Right over here, that's what I'm looking for. The first Pokemon that stood out for me that would be really good in this matchup was McGonagall, the Delphox. Fire and Psychic Stab. If you look at Fire and Psychic Stab at his team, I pretty much break all of his walls because I hit Toxapex, I hit Ferrothorn, and I know they're not walls, but I hit Galvantula, I hit Sneasel, and if you add Grass Knot on top of that, which I am carrying, I hit Regirock, I hit Golurk. Pretty much any Pokemon on his team that resembles a defensive Pokemon at all gets hit by this, unless you count Zard X as defensive, because it could be defensive. However, Zard X after Rocks does not want to take a Twisted Spoon Psychic, which is the reason why I'm running Twisted Spoon over Expert Belt or Life Orb. If I run Life Orb, Zard X can kill me after Life Orb damage if he's Jolly. If he's Adamant, I'm pretty sure I die no matter what, but I think he's going to be Jolly just because he wants to get that extra speed. So Twisted Spoon with the Psychic is literally just there for the Zard. Flamethrower and Grass Knot. These 3 moves, I think of his 11 Pokemon, I think 8 of them are hit super effective between these 3 moves. So that's why when I look at this matchup, I just screamed Delphox. And then Calm Mind is really just there as filler if I'm being completely honest. I could have easily ran a Hidden Power here. Maybe Hidden Power... I guess Hidden Power Ice would have hit Staraptor, but I'm pretty sure that Psyche does more than Hidden Power Ice because of the Twisted Spoon. It could have been any other move really, but the thing with Calm Mind is if I get a Calm Mind up, I can kill the Charizard. I'm not running for the defensive boost, just running for the special attack boost. If this thing got nasty plot, that would just be amazing. But I feel like this thing is definitely going to be a good Pokemon. Kind of similar to how Greninja was against Hera in the XBL, where I just sent down Greninja and I either got a kill or forced out a switch and did a lot of damage. I feel like Delphox would do the same thing for him, because another interesting thing, if you look at his team, his Galvantula is base 108 speed, my Delphox is base 104 speed, my Raichu is base 110 speed. So this will come into factor when I talk about the next Pokemon, but that means he has to run at least enough EVs to outspeed my Delphox, otherwise he will die to my Delphox. So with that in mind, this Raichu is designed to kill a Focus Sash Galvantula with EVs with the extra speed EVs invested in HP or defense or special defense, because it needs to outspeed McGonagall, if that makes sense. So this Raichu, it looks super situational on paper. It is 100% designed to kill the Galvantula. However, it can do other things besides kill the Galvantula, which I will talk about in a second. So first up, Normalium Z, Hyper Beam, Thunderbolt, Fake Out, and Volt Switch with this EV spread. Naive Nature, because I needed Fake Out to do as much damage as possible. Now, you might think that I'm crazy for running this set, but I feel like this set will do a lot of work, because if you look at how much of an impact Sticky Webs would have on my team, I pretty much would lose if Sticky Webs are up, right? Now, yes, I do have Fortress with Rapid Spin, but I'm not going to bring Fortress when he has Charizard. I feel like that's just not a good idea. Fortress doesn't really do a lot in this matchup, which is why I didn't want to bring it. I feel like all it was really good for was a Rapid Spinning, and then it was just a liability outside of that. I could bring Defog as well on my Tapu Fini or my Tornadus. I don't know if anything else on my team gets Defog, but something else that gets Defog. The problem with that is I want rocks up on his side of the field, and if I go for Defog, those get rid of my rocks, which is why I think Rapid Spin is infinitely better than Defog. I know people say, oh, it doesn't matter if you don't have Rapid Spin as long as you have Defoggers. I 100% disagree with that. I feel like you have to have at least one Rapid Spinner, because you don't want to be like, oh, let's go for Defog, and then you just help your opponent. So anyway, this is designed just to kill the Galvantula. It'll probably be my lead if I do see Galvantula. However, Fake Out plus Z Hyper Beam has a chance to kill Mega Charizard X after rocks, which is very, very good. And since I am a Naive Nature with Thunderbolt, I do at least 50% to Toxicroak if it is bold, which I think it will be bold. Just looking at my team, he would want it to check things like Mega Absol and to check things like, I don't know, really just think. I mean, I guess he could be specially defensive, but if he is specially defensive, it's really not that much of a deal, in my opinion. So Raichu looks kind of weird. But I think it'll work out. And Lightning Rod's also good because he does have the Galvantula, so I can just come in on Lightning Rod. I can come in on Bug Buzz because I resist it. And he might have HP Fire for my Fortress, so Raichu just kind of checks that thing pretty easily. Like I said, ideal situation. I lead Raichu, he leads Galvantula. I go for Fake Out. He gets confused, just stays in and clicks Sticky Web again. I go for Z Hyper Beam, and he dies. Next Pokemon, Tornadus, Marion with the Life Orb Regenerator, Air Slash, U-Turn, Heat Wave, Psychic. Nothing special about this Pokemon. It's faster than his entire roster. The fastest thing on his team is the Sneasel. I think his second fastest is Jump Up. I'm not sure if Jump Up is 115 or 110 speed. I think it's 110. So this thing outspeeds his entire roster. It's generally good when you have a Pokemon that outspeeds your opponent's team to bring that Pokemon, especially when this Pokemon can hit a lot of things super effective on his team. Heat Wave and Psychic specifically, the Fire and the Psychic just hits Toxicroak and Ferrothorn, which is what I want, because I feel like those are two Pokemon he's going to really, really rely on, not just in this matchup, but throughout the entire season. And if I have two Pokemon with Fire and Psychic coverage, I can just bop those things. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. U-Turn just there for initiative. I like having U-Turn. I have a little Volt Turn going on, I guess, with Raichu and Will Smith, which is always good to have. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I love my XBL team so much, is because of the Volt Turn possibilities. And then Psychic, or did I say Psychic? No, and then Air Slash is there just for stab. Originally, before I had the crazy Raichu set, I was actually running Z Hurricane, because Z Hurricane does kill Charizard, but the problem with that is if I let the Charizard get up a Dragon Dance, then Tornadus just can't go for Z Hurricane. So that's really, there's nothing really too special about this set. I mean, just click buttons, click attacks, that's super effective. There you go. Next up, we have Tapu Fini with the Misty Surge. I feel like Misty Terrain is going to be very good because I will weaken the Charizard's Dragon moves, which is very, very good. It is a little bit of a hindrance, like I said earlier, because it means that I can't really bring Goodra as effectively to handle the Charizard. Although, at the same time, I really don't think Goodra would have been that great in this matchup outside of maybe like Fire Block. Unless I'm in like a special Goodra, I guess, or a full special Goodra without Dragon moves, I should say. I also have Taunt as well. I was throwing between Taunt and Haze a lot. I went with Taunt because if he switches in Toxicroak onto my Tapu Fini and I click Taunt, it literally can't do anything. If I Taunt the Ferrothorn, it could Power Whip me, but I can actually take a Power Whip unless he's like Adamant, which I don't think he will be. And like I said earlier, when I did a mock battle, Calm Mind Tapu Fini just completely destroyed the team. Now, excuse me, disclaimer, when I did do the mock battle against Sharky, who's in my front office, he did not bring the Galvantula, and he did not bring the Toxicroak. So those are two Pokemon that, you know, Tapu Fini can't really handle too effectively because I do have Surf and Moonblast as my only offensive moves, and Galvantula is an electric type, of course, so it's going to be super effective. However, I just feel like Calm Mind, if I get the opportunity to go for it, I think it won't backfire. Next up, this Pokemon was actually the last edition. Before I started recording this team builder, I had Miltank in this slot. I changed it for Swampert, and I'll explain why. So this Swampert, it's very similar in terms of functionality as to the Miltank that I wanted. Leftovers, Torrent, Earthquake, Roar, Waterfall, and Stealth Rock. The Miltank I had, I think it was Rocky Helmet with Thick Fat, Earthquake, Body Slam, Milk Drink, and Stealth Rocks. I think that was the set with an same EV spread. Reason behind this, now, I had the Miltank at first against the Charizard. Like I was saying earlier, if he decides to run a Charizard with Roost and Dragon Dance, my Earthquake doesn't do 50%, it does like 40%. So why would I bring Miltank, go for Earthquake, he goes for Roost, I go for Earthquake, he goes for Roost again, he goes for Dragon Dance, and he just gets free Dragon Dances basically. He can just set up on my Miltank. So it didn't make sense for me to bring Miltank, a Pokemon designed to handle Charizard X, when there was a variant of Charizard X that can just abuse that and set up my Miltank. So I went with this because my Earthquakes will do at least 50% to him. After Rocks, I have a chance to kill if he is not running a bulky set. If he is running a bulky set, it'll be a 2-shot. If he Will-O-Wisp me, that'll suck, but since I do have Tapu Fini, I can help run against the Will-O-Wisp, which is why I don't think he will bring Will-O-Wisp Zarb, knowing I have Tapu Fini. Roar is there in case I need it for the Charizard again, because even if he's +2, like let's say he's +2, right? I will have to sack something off, unfortunately, but Swampert can take a hit from a +2 Jolly Charizard and just go for a Roar. Not the best situation, but if it comes down to that, at least I have that option. Waterfall is there as well because it hits Golurk, it hits Regirock, and it's just like, I don't know, just a good stat move, I guess. It doesn't really hit things too hard, but Swampert has 110 attack, so it'll hit things hard enough. And then Stealth Rocks, again, because Stealth Rock and Steam are very, very good. This thing could be a potential lead if I don't see the Galvantula. If I don't see Galvantula on his team, right, and he looks at my team, you look at my team, right, and you think, okay, he might lead Raichu, he might lead Torn for the Volt Switch and the U-turn, he might lead Swampert for the Stealth Rocks. And if you look at his team, right, if he brings a combination of 6 Pokemon that don't include Galvantula, he could lead Ferrothorn on that, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is, if he doesn't bring Galvantula, Swampert is a very, very good lead, which is another reason why I think Galvantula will come. So last Pokemon, another kind of a little bit of a wild card, we have Life Orb Toxicroak, aka Suyu, with the dry skin. This thing, since it has dry skin, can actually easily switch into Toxapex, because if he goes for Scald, I just have dry skin. I'm a poison type, so he can't really go for poison moves as effectively. He can't poison me. If he goes for Baneful Bunker, he can't poison me. Drain Punch, Earthquake, Bullet Punch, and SD. Now, the problem with this set is, there's 2 problems. One, Scarf Gardevoir is a threat. He might bring it, because Scarf Gardevoir just kills the Toxicroak. And I don't outspeed the Zard, and since I'm dry skin, I just die to any fire move. So the only possible way I can really hit the Zard is if I catch it on a switch with an Earthquake. However, if I am able to, if the Zard X is down and I'm able to set up an SD, there really isn't very much on his team that he can do to me. Because if Zard X is down, right, the only thing that would speed me are the Galvantula, which can't one-shot me, the Jumpluff, which has like, what, 50 attacks, that's not going to do anything to me, and the Gardevoir if it is Scarfed. Because Gardevoir is basically speed. However, if I get up a Bullet Punch, or excuse me, I get up an SD and go for Bullet Punch, Gardevoir is not going to appreciate that. So this is a little bit of a wild card set. It's also there to prevent the Sneasel from doing too much damage, because Bullet Punch does a lot to Sneasel because it is weak to it. Unless he brings like Eviolite Sneasel, but I don't think he's going to bring Eviolite Sneasel. That just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. So that's pretty much the full team. Just, you know, scrolling over the Pokemon really, really quickly. It is a tough matchup, I'm not gonna lie, just because of the Zard X and the Galvantula. I just feel like Galvantula and Zard X have a very good matchup against my team specifically. However, one advantage that I do see in this matchup is you look at his hazard removal, and it's pretty much non-existent. He has Hitmontop, which isn't a bad Rapid Spinner. Like, it's okay. I would definitely rank it in like the middle when it comes to Rapid Spinner. Like, I would not consider it bad, but I wouldn't really consider it a good Rapid Spinner. I did have an NPA Season 2 and it was very good for me. I guess Intimidate, which might be a problem as well, because you could just intimidate my Swampert. But even if he intimidates my Swampert, unless he's running a bulky Charizard, I will be okay. So what I'm trying to say is the key factors to this matchup are getting Rocks up and not letting him get Webs up. Outside of that, I think we should win. It would be cool to bring Mega Absol, like I've been saying, because I keep looking at Mega Absol and thinking it'll be good, but the more I run calcs, the more I just break down the matchup, it does not look very good. So that's the team. Let me know what you guys think of the team in the comment section down below. The battle will be up tomorrow. And of course, you know, people always ask this whenever a new season starts. These team builders are recorded before the battle happens, but they are uploaded after the battle happens. So my opponent will not see this video before the battle happens. So thanks for watching. Keep rooting for your Klinks. I'll see you guys in the battle, and bye-bye.